Today I'm going to show you how to use a large language model such as ChatGPT or Gemini to help you create a rubric and create an exemplar for your students as well. You can do these things inside other tools like Magic School or in Brisk, but I do want to show you how to put in the correct prompt in something like ChatGPT or Gemini. So once I go into ChatGPT, once I'm ready to try it, then I'm going to put in a prompt down here. So in this example, I'm a fourth grade teacher and my students are working on narrative writing pieces. I'm going to ask it to create a 4-point rubric that scores my students on introduction paragraph, conclusion paragraph, spelling, grammar, use of dialogue, and use of transition words. So this is just a prompt that's going to make sure that I'm being specific as possible and letting it know some context in the grade level that I teach and what type of writing we're doing. If I wanted to include a standard in here, I certainly could. If I wanted it to be specific to Kentucky standards, I could say I'm a fourth grade Kentucky teacher. And then I'm going to tell it how many points I want on my rubric and the specifics of the things that I want to see in that rubric. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And it is going to generate a option for me here. And always important for us to look over it as the teacher and the content expert to make sure it's appropriate, but you can see it's creating in real time. So it's right now creating the criteria that I've already given it. And it's kind of putting in what it's considering to be excellent, proficient, developing, and needs improvement. So once it's created that rubric for me, I have a few options. I can copy it here, and then I can put that into whatever format I want. Let's say I want to put that in a doc, or I want to put it in, put it into PDF or whatever. That's perfectly fine. So the thing that's really cool about ChatGPT or Gemini or any of these large language models is these kind of work as a thread. So I can continue to keep asking it to do tasks based on what I had it just do. So now create an exemplar writing piece using this rubric and write it as if you are a fourth grade student. So now it's going to take that same rubric and it's going to start to create an exemplar writing piece. This is something that I can give to my students so that this could be a teaching moment, so we could take an opportunity to look at this writing piece and compare it to the rubric as we're talking about the rubric and how we would score things. And again, it's going to be kind of written on a fourth grade reading level. I can choose to make it a fifth grade reading level if I really wanted to kind of bump it up there and let them see like what it looks like even higher than that. I could ask it to do, let's say that I really wanted to do a teaching moment on dialogue, and maybe I could have it rewrite it, but the use of dialogue being at a level 2 or level 1. And so I could have it rewrite this same paragraph. Let's see, we're going to rewrite this piece, but have the dialogue included be at a level 1 so that I can use this to teach, to show my students a piece without dialogue. So maybe I want to, again, show my students and maybe want them to score it against our rubric. And so I want it to now include something that doesn't have any dialogue in it. So then it could be a really great teaching point for my students. So it's going to create that. And again, you can copy and paste it. You can share it out with your students, and you can see that this time it's another really great narrative writing piece, but this time it does not have any dialogue in it. So it eliminates use of dialogue and it aligns it with a level 1 scoring. So now create a student example where the student scores mostly on level 1 and 2 in all categories. and write it at a second grade level. So this might be a really good example or a way for me to show a non-exemplar to my students. So maybe something that's not very great in comparison to the rubric. It needs lots of growth. And so here we've got it rewriting it almost as if it's a second grader. And again, you can see it's kind of going to even score and tell you that these two are really more like a level 2. The use of dialogue would be a 1 and use of transition words would be a 1. So it's giving you what it would kind of score it. And you could go back and you could ask it to redo anything. But now you have several exemplars. You have a rubric, plus you have several exemplars that you can give to your students as a teaching tool to really help them evaluate writing pieces that kind of hit all different levels on this rubric.